Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. Last time we left off with the leaders of the Allies drive to the Reich. We're now on to Flowers for the Quick and the Dead. September 4th, 1944. The Yanks enter Belgium. Sweeping through France at a rate of more than 200 miles in 4 days, doughboys entered Belgium and Luxembourg. And were warmly welcomed by people of these small liberated countries. Even the children lavished flowers upon the conquering heroes. Above, so the child's giving flowers to the men above. That's what it means. But freedom had its price, and in the picture at the left, a Belgian woman places flowers upon the body of an American soldier who was killed by German snipers in her backyard. So, for many of these men, it was probably really nice to receive these flowers from the women and from children, because it's like, oh, people are happy we're here. We're not just an invading country that people are upset with us. But they're probably happy to see them, and for them, that's probably very nice. And for this soldier, this woman has no idea who they were, what they could have done in their life, anything. But she's still honoring him because in some way she knows that he was trying to do his best for her and all of her people, which I'm sure is a nice sentiment. A flying bomb area is isolated. September 5th, 1944. The British reach Antwerp. By its lightning dash to Antwerp, the British Second Army cut off the entire Pas-de-Calais area, containing 100,000 Germans and many sites of the flying bombs. A long line of Nazi prisoners is shown in Antwerp, and below, Yanks inspect an underground flying bomb factory in the Metz area. Other bomb sites continued to launch their deadly cargoes for many weeks. You can see, yep, they're in Antwerp. Encircling that many Germans, it's a lot of men to be captured. So that's going to be a big deal for any of the Germans that are defending. The homeland is now very much in danger. It's a big deal. And then the flying bombs, as we would know them, more rockets today. Scary stuff, especially back then. Think about it. They've never seen a rocket, things like that, an unmanned bomb. So something like this is really scary. And it goes on for, like they said, multiple more weeks. A French collaborationist faces death. September 1944. The end of the road. As the Allied armies liberated France, the Maquis were quick to bring justice to those who had collaborated with the Nazis. 6 young militiamen pleaded innocent at the Grenoble treason trial on September 2nd. But the court ruled them guilty of carrying arms against France. Shown as he faced the firing squad, this young man paid with his life, while a large and eager crowd looked on. So, something that they've obviously shown very much in this book now and the previous one is the consequences of anyone who ever collaborated with the Nazis. I do think that much of this is a little overblown. Many of these people, they were just doing what they needed to survive. Not necessarily because they liked the Nazis, but because they liked life. And they didn't want to suffer, really. But people are out for blood, and when that happens, all reason goes to the wayside. And right now is a very clear indication of the reason going out the window, which is really unfortunate. Some of these people probably deserve this. It depends on what they did, but it would be a very specific circumstance, I think, for you to deserve this. crossing the Meuse in Belgium. September 5th, 1944. Infantry and armor pursue Nazis. Yanks of an infantry division advance over a catwalk above as enemy shells burst wide of this bridge spanning the Meuse River near Ho, Belgium. I don't know how to say that, but it's not right there. In the picture below, American engineers hastily throw together a bridge at Namur, Belgium, for armored columns to follow the infantry in the drive across the Meuse River. Yeah, so any way that they can get across the river, so a quick catwalk or building a bridge is something. These are amazing feats of engineering, and they're doing them very quick because they need to get over, and they need to get fast. Because if you slow down too much, the Allies are not going to be able to catch the Germans. And if the Germans get away, they can re-entrench, things like that. And you don't want that. You don't want to slow this down. So it's a big deal to hurry up, go. Move. You got to move, or the enemy is going to slip through your grip. Patrolling the Italian front. September 1944. With the 92nd Division. A patrol of all Negro 92nd Division above blasts a Nazi gun nest with a bazooka at the advanced position of the 5th Army front in Italy. Soldiers of the same division guard a Nazi prisoner sitting in a jeep. So right there, down here. The Nazi was caught lurking behind the lines in civilian clothes. The captive awaits sulkily to be transferred to a prison pen. That's a big deal. That's spying. If you get caught for spying, the punishment is usually very severe. So, especially if you're in civilian or civies, you don't want to do that. And yes, they're pointing out the all African American, or as it says right there, division, which obviously nowadays that doesn't exist. Segregation, that is wrong. Back then, this is, in their eyes, this is good, but it's really not. Segregation, it's still bad, but this is at least a step up from what the past was, where these men would not be able to fight for their country, and now they're able to, even if their country still doesn't fully believe in them, which is very unfortunate. But things will obviously change, and for the better. Liberated Brussels celebrates. September 5th, 1944. Gives wild welcomes to troops. The tremendous ovation given British and Belgian soldiers entering Brussels was unlike anything hereto seen in the war. Great scenes took place as the people wildly expressed their joy. The procession shown here was typical. Yeah, look at all the people. And that one, once again, it's one of those things you'd be so happy as a soldier to get this great welcome, because you're going in and you're thinking, oh, it's going to be awful, and oh, I'm not going to, people are going to reject us when we go in. But if you get this big welcome, you're like, yeah, we're doing the right thing. We are freeing these people. They want to be freed. And so I'm sure for many of these soldiers, this was such a breath of fresh air, a relief, being like, yes, we're doing what we can. Ooh, boy. Justice catches up with Italian fascist, and I have to cover a picture here because I cannot show that. September 1944. 2 ways to die. I'm sorry that this is covering it up, but you can kind of guess what's going on from here. The wrath of the Italian people caught up with 2 Nazi collaborators during the first fascist trial in Rome. Pietro Caruso, fascist police chief of Rome, was tried and duly executed, but his assistant, Donato Caretta, was lynched by a mob of 7,000 who stormed the Palace of Justice courtroom. They got their hands... Here, I'll do this now. I can't really show that still, but There we go. They got their hands on the luckless Carreta, dragged him into a street, and beat and kicked him and threw him in to the Tiber River. There he was thrust underwater and drowned. Caruso, however, was saved from the mob only to be tried, found guilty, and executed before firing squad. And that was what it was over here. Yeah, fascism, not great. These people are getting their comeuppance. Now, the guy that got drowned in a river, not so great. I think he should have been given due process and been given proper justice. Tried in a court of law, given his execution date or prison time, whichever. I think that is right. And just beating and throwing it and drowning someone, I still think that's, sadly, it's still very illegal. And I hate that happened. Now, did he deserve it? Probably. But just because he deserved it does not mean that's how we should run things. But with that, that's going to do it for this video. If you guys liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Tell me what I could improve on. I always appreciate your feedback. And as always, subscribe. It really does help out this channel. Thank you.